Hey everyone, hope you guys are having an awesome week. And I hope that as you guys just kind of carry on, that you're seeing the ways that God's actually providing things for you along the way. Maybe it's the way that, something that your mom or dad have, allowed you to do something or gotten something for you, or the way they spend time with you, or maybe there's something that's happening in life with amongst your friends and just how you guys are staying connected one way or another. And maybe that's really just been so encouraging to you. And these are all things saying God knows what you need, right? And He wants people to step in and to fill that and help provide some of those things for you. And so I hope that you're seeing all the ways that God is just providing for you, like in this time. Just that even in the midst of not being able to do certain things the way that we always have, that you're seeing, you're finding joy and friendship and connection and relationship in new ways and in ways that are only from Him. And so I hope that you guys see that He is here. He sees you and He's involved, and He's wanting to guide you through this all. And that's my prayer in all of this, is that you would be finding that. And so I'm excited for today, and I got another video for you guys, because sometimes when we go through life, it's we come across hard situations, right? And that's what we're in right now. And sometimes in these hard situations, answers or solutions seem to show themselves, right? And you're like, hey, this is what I need to do, or hey, this is how will help you get me out of this. And sometimes the easiest solutions aren't always the best solutions for us. Sometimes that's exactly how our enemy tries to deceive us, right? He tries to tell us lies, and he tries to present us with ideas of things that look like they're going to be helpful, but actually they're super harmful. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and just spend some time thinking about, hey, what are the choices and the decisions that I've made in some of this, and were they ones that were actually good for me, or did they just seem good at the time but actually have turned out to be kind of harmful? So enjoy, guys, and we'll catch you later on. You guys won't believe it. I found that abandoned town, and I was able to stay there for about almost a week. And this morning I was just, heading around town, seeing if there's anything I could scavenge again. And all of a sudden I heard this hum, heard this noise coming. And it was, as it got louder and louder, all of a sudden I realized it sounds like snowmobiles. And sure enough, I climbed on top of those train cars, and I looked out to the area where I was hearing the sound from, and sure enough, here I saw three snowmobiles cruising up to the town. Oh, I was so excited. You can't believe it. After being lost up here for almost 3 weeks, I was, my rescuers were coming, and I couldn't wait. Oh man, they just kept getting closer and closer, and they were coming straight for the town. And so as they came, I just thought, this is it. I'm gonna be free of all of this. And but I tell you, they were surprised. They pulled up into this town, and wow, were they shocked to find someone there. You see, they knew this was an abandoned area. They knew that there was no one up here. They're used to hunting up here as well. And so they came up here and they were doing some hunting, and they knew of this abandoned town. And even though there was no one there, they knew that it was, a place to kind of, that's how they knew where they wanted to go from here. So it was just amazing. I thought that I happened to be here at this moment when they came, and I was so excited. And so things started off great. we they even had some food and stuff, and so I set up the fire I had going there, and they pulled out some of the food. We opened up some cans of beans and tuna and a few other things, and did I eat. It was so good. I hadn't eaten real food in nearly 3 weeks, and I can tell you, anything tastes good after 3 weeks, even if there's no salt and pepper, even if it is beans and tuna. But I'll tell you, it was one of the best meals I've ever had. So these guys, they wanted to hear my story. They wanted to know what I was doing, and so I told them my whole story about how I had come up here hunting and gotten separated from my group, and here I've been for 3 weeks now, just roaming around trying to find a way home. And I had stumbled across this town, and they were blown away at that I was even still here. They were blown away that I found this town. Oh, so exciting. And I was amazed. And so they were being so kind to me, and they're helping me out, and I thought, I'm excited, and this is gonna be it. And so as we're carrying on, we settled in, we hunkered down there for that night, and I'm just thinking, this is my last night here. And the next morning, I woke up, and something was different. They seemed different. They weren't treating me the same way that they were yesterday, the day before. They're getting me to do a lot of their stuff. They were getting me to carry their bags from this place to that place, to unpack stuff, to kind of do a lot of the grunt work. And I just wanted to do my part, right? These guys are rescuing me, so I just want to help out whatever way I can. And so as I did this, I just I thought, what's going on though? It began to, as much as I wanted to believe that everything was okay, something just seemed off. You see, I noticed that their snowmobiles had license plates were from Alberta, but these guys told me that they were from Manitoba, and so I found that odd, and it didn't seem kind of all lined up. And then as we carried on talking and stuff like that, all of a sudden the name that they were using, one of them used a different name all of a sudden to call someone else, to call their other buddy, and almost as if they had changed names, or they didn't want me to know the real names, because when the guy slipped up, the other guy shot him a look. That look that just says, you just messed up, and get it together, or you're gonna be in trouble. So there's a few of these things, but I didn't want to let on to anything, because what happens to me then? These guys are my ticket out, so I didn't want to show them that they're some other things just weren't adding up. So I did that for a little while, and later on we were going, and all of a sudden I used that name that I wasn't supposed to know. And I knew as soon as I'd done that, I knew I was in trouble. They didn't start chasing me right away, but I knew that they were going to be after me. And I knew that they knew that I was onto them. So I quietly slipped over to their sleds and I grabbed their keys without them noticing. I told them I was going to go put something away. And I kind of only slipped back into, told them I was going to look for something from a different part of the town. And that's when I just had to run. I just need to get out of there, and I need to find a place to hide. And so that's kind of why. So I booked it out of town, and there was these trees a while out back here, and just kind of had all fallen down and become brush. And right now, this is my only place to hide. I hope they think that I'm just hidden in town somewhere. I didn't want to stay in town because I just thought that was too obvious. So I booked it, and about a mile away before I guess they realized it. And so here I am, hoping that they won't find me. So here I thought last week was bad, and now I'm not only lost up here, but I also got these guys after me now because they know that I've caught on to them, that they're thieves. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have grabbed the keys. Maybe I should have just let them be on their way. But what would they have done with me? You know, I can't imagine. They wouldn't let me go. I know their secret. I knew that guy's name. I thought last week was the worst as they could get it. I'm not sure it's any better. But I do know one thing. They came from a city about 100 miles to the south. Now, that's a long ways to walk, but I know where I gotta go. Now it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to get there. What am I gonna do? Maybe if I could grab one of their sleds. But how am I gonna get that close and get away without them catching on? Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't hear their sleds anymore. You know, I told them where I came from, and I wonder how there have been a few places along the way that I'd been able to take cover. And so I wonder if they followed those tracks the other direction that I came from, and I wonder if they're hunting for me in those places that they think I know of, that I would have gone back to. Oh, good thing I didn't go that direction. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set up camp. I'm gonna sneak back into town and see if I left any supplies that I could go and grab a few things at least that are gonna help me as I try and find new places to hide from them and try and avoid them before they come back. So I have to be quick. It's time for me to see if I can't find some stuff here. You know, sometimes it's bad enough just thinking I was lost, but now that I'm actually being hunted, that I know these guys are actually after me and trying to find a way to, I don't know, what were they doing to me? You won't believe what happened. So I made my way back to the town, and as I was getting in there, all of a sudden I noticed that there was a sled still in the town. So when I thought they'd all left, only two of them had left, and the third guy was still there. So I didn't know where he was. And now I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, what on earth did I come back for? Why did I risk it? But I knew there was supplies and stuff that's gonna get me a long ways. And so I hunkered around town, and I sat and I watched for a while just to see where is he. And sure enough, after about a half hour, all of a sudden, I saw him walking through some of the abandoned buildings. And I guess the other two took off to see if I had took off somewheres and if they could find me on foot down the tracks in one of my hiding places. But this guy hung around to keep looking around through some of the buildings or to see if I had found a hiding spot in town instead. Oh. But then I saw it. He was walking towards the far other side of the town, and he was leaving his sled by that old train platform that I had been at. And he even left some supplies there, where all the supplies were. I thought this was my chance. And then I remembered, before when I didn't want them to come and catch me, I grabbed their keys because I knew that they'd have to dig for their second set and it'd be a while. And so sure enough, I got the keys to the sled. When I saw that he'd entered that one building, I took over and I ran off to that sled and I grabbed through the keys, and the first one didn't work and the second one didn't work, and finally got the third one in. I fired her up and I grabbed what I could. I grabbed the backpack that they had their stuff in, and I threw it on and I took off. the opposite direction. As I took off, I looked back and sure enough, I saw the other guy coming out of the building, and he saw me taking off, and he knew where it was. But now he was in the town all by himself, no sled, and no way to get a hold of his buddies. And so, this is my chance. I gotta go. I gotta get as far and fast as I can. And wow, that was amazing. I drove, and just about to get dark now, and so I drove a ways, and I made some loops, and I crossed over my paths, and so hopefully they won't be able to know, even if they can, if they find my track, and hopefully they won't be able to catch it, and maybe overnight it'll snow or frost over or something, and I'll lose. But oh man, guys, I think there's hope. Now, as long as I can find my way south, and I don't know, but surely I'll be getting closer to the place where they started from, that city that's about 100 miles away. But guys, can't believe it. This is the most hope that I've had in so long, and oh man, it's just, I didn't think this would be so dangerous, and here when I thought that here my rescuers were coming, I didn't know that I'd still be on the run, and that I'd still be, it's still not a guarantee, guys. They might be able to find me, but here's to hope. I guess maybe I shouldn't have trusted them as easily as I did, but the minute I thought that they would be the ones that would take me out, and that everything was solved, I didn't realize that I have more problems on my hands than I even had before. And so they were more dangerous than I thought. And even now, I'm just hoping that I can hunker down in this ravine for the night, and that they won't find me and drag me back to that town, or I'm still not sure where I'm gonna go, but oh man, I hope that I can find that city, find that town that they came out of, and maybe finally I'll be rescued. So sometimes in life, it's hard to see which circumstances are actually harmful to us and which ones are actually going to be helpful to us. And sometimes when we think that something is going to be to our advantage, or it's going to help us out of a sticky situation, or just something hard, help us go through something hard that we really don't want to go through, sometimes the thing that we think is there to help us isn't actually that, and it's actually something that's really harmful to us. And so one of the challenges and the jobs that we get to do is we get to look at life, right? And we get to look at our situations, and we get to kind of figure out and have to evaluate what's actually helpful to us and what's actually harmful. You see, sometimes when we're with our friends and there's a difficult situation, just maybe in dealing with something in our friendships, right? Maybe someone's hurt us, or maybe someone's done something to us, and the easy choice and the solution seems to be just to walk away. Sometimes there's another set of friends or someone else that maybe, hey, you know what? You'll actually be a better friend to me than that person. So I'm just gonna walk away from that friendship, and I'm gonna walk towards you now. And sometimes when we do that, we think, oh, this is God's providing for me, right? This is God providing me a new friend, right? Someone else. When actually, sometimes some of the things that we can learn through friendship is that it's not always going to be easy, and that we're not perfect, and sometimes our friends will hurt us. And the challenge will be is to learn, say, when someone hurts us, what's it like to actually take steps to bring that relationship, that friendship back to or even an even better place than what it was before. You see, sometimes we just throw it out and we say, well, I guess that one was no good. I'll find something better. But that's the beautiful thing, right? Is that this God that we know from the Bible, he's a God of restoring and fixing things that are broken, right? And so his answer is most often not to just walk away from something, but it's to actually say, hey, how can we fix this? What's an act of love? How can we actually grow through this and actually say, you know what? Maybe that did hurt. That was hard to go through. But you're still valuable. Our friendship is still more valuable than just throwing it away. And as we do that, we can make wiser choices, and we'll actually we'll come out of it stronger and better for it. I was in a tough situation. I was lost. I was here. Here I thought my rescuers were coming, and now it turns out they're here to do me equally as much harm. And sometimes the solutions that we think actually do us more harm. Walking away from a friendship can often do us more harm in that it makes us more selfish. It makes it more about us. It makes it more just about the things that I want, and as soon as I don't get the thing I want, I walk away. And that's not the person that God's created you to be. God wants you to be a person who can overcome hard things and difficult things. He wants you to be a person who's gonna hear Him and gonna take maybe difficult steps, but they're actually gonna be ones that grow us in who we are. Sometimes it can be a difficult family situation. Maybe things with your brothers and sisters or your mom or dad. Maybe there's just something there that is one of those relationships that you just don't agree. Maybe you and your mom butt heads. Maybe it's you and your dad. Maybe it's because you're so much alike, or maybe it's because you're totally opposite. But maybe there's something where there's this person that you just butt heads, right? And so often we're saying, oh, the solution is just to walk away. The solution is just to have no relationship. And God's wanting to encourage us and say that the easy solution, or sometimes what we think is the solution, will actually do us more harm than anything else. And so as you guys go through life, I want you to think of a hard situation. I want you to think of something that was a challenge. And I want you to think about, what was the choice that you made? When's the last time that you chose to take that challenge and look at the decision and say, hey, was this actually helpful to me, or was it actually harmful? Did I learn something from this? Or did I just isolate myself more? Or did I just take the easy route? A lot of times, and this is something that we all continue to learn through life, is that often the easy answer isn't actually the right answer. The easy answer isn't actually the answer that's best for us. The easy answer for me was to be like, you guys are here to rescue me, and I'm just going to go with whatever you say, when actually that would have been really harmful to me. Sometimes the harder answer is to say, you know what, I'm gonna, as much as I want to just walk away from something, or as much as I want to just say, hey, you're the answer, I'm gonna actually take a step back and say, hey, God, I want you to show me your answer in this, because God's answer is gonna lead us to places where we discover more about ourselves, and where we're challenged to do something that's gonna be really hard. And it's hard because we're fighting our human nature. It's hard because the Brent, who is just the sinful human being, doesn't want to do it. But when we've come into a relationship with God, that's the side of us that died. That's the side of us that we left in the water, right? When we were baptized. That's the side of us that doesn't give us hope in the future. The part that gives us a hope in the future is the part where we say, God, I'm going to take your answer. So even in those hard situations, when's the last time we've asked God to say, hey, God, what is the answer here? What is the best thing to do? Is it to go and say, to take someone that's hurt me and say, you know what? I forgive you for that, but I value your friendship more than that, than carrying on to that hurt, that I'm gonna still continue to pursue our friendship. Is it that maybe we struggle with mom and dad or brother and sister, where we say, you know what, I value you so much that I'm gonna actually choose to overlook the things that irritate me. I'm gonna choose to overlook all the rules that you have, mom and dad. I'm gonna overlook the consequences that you give me sometimes mom and dad, because I know that you're doing that for a purpose. You're doing that to be the best parent you know how. And sometimes, are they harsh? Maybe. Are they always do we always deserve the consequences that we totally get from our parents? Maybe not. But in it, God's inviting us to say, hey, are you gonna take the easy choice, or are you gonna take the better choice? Sometimes it'll be harder, but in it, it's definitely more rewarding. And so my challenge for you guys saying is, what are those hard choices? What do you think, what's a hard choice, and what was the solution to that you saw? And was that solution the best solution for you? Or has it actually left you in a place where you still carry around that hurt from the way that someone offended you? Do you carry around the baggage of saying, you told that thing that I told you in private, that was supposed to be something that was just something I shared with you because I trusted you, and you broke that trust when you shared it with someone else? Am I going to hold that against you forever and say that you are no longer able to be my friend because of that? Or am I going to see the way that God's actually going to restore our friendship? Am I going to see the way that maybe you actually do feel really bad about that? See, God's all about restoring. And so often the easiest solution isn't about restoring. It's about just what's the simplest and what's the easiest, but it's actually more harmful to us. So what are some of the hard things that you've been facing in life? And what have been the solutions that you've seen? What have been the things you said, hey, this was the decision that I should have made? And was it the easy one that was harmful to you, or was it the better one that actually challenges you to grow? And as you discover this, I think God's got good things in store. I think God's He'll continue to grow you into the person that He wants you to be, and into the person that's going to have this best possible future and going to have the best types of relationships because of it. So be blessed as you guys really consider this, and may you see the truth that God has for you and the best life that He's got waiting for you. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.